What's going on today, everybody? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I am. We just got off work. It's time to work on this jet ski. Things are all sealed up now. It's got the wax coat all over it. It's cured off for a day now. And now it's time to get on to the monumental task of making this thing smooth. So Gelcoat naturally has a bumpy finish that's orange peely, but it's naturally bumpy. And everybody wants the nice, shiny, smooth, super high gloss Gelcoat. So now it's time to make it close to that. This one's the bottom, so I'm less worried about it. But we're going to go ahead and sand this thing down because we need to get it sanded down just a little bit and then go from there. So let's start sanding on this thing. Now, I'm going to attempt to use the orbital sander. Definitely on the sides. We'll see how that works. But on the top, I highly doubt I'm going to be able to. I think it's going to be a hand show on the top. So we'll see. I could get to this flat area maybe, but we will see how close we can actually get it. So without further ado, let's get to sanding this thing and getting it ready to flip over. I'm tired of seeing it flipped upside down like this. We need to flip it over. We need to get an engine back in it, and we need to take this thing out because look at how nice it is outside. It's time to start using this thing. Well, that didn't work out as planned. My camera died instantly, and I lost all my footage that I thought I got of sanding. It's not there. So what I did, 320 on the orbital, and then I started doing by hand with 320. That was getting me nowhere in a hurry, so I dropped down to 120 by hand using the... Dropped down to 120 by using the bar for all of my little swales in here. But I went and did myself a favor. It was really, really late. I couldn't see the best. And definitely have some spots where I've given myself the opportunity to do it again. So I burned through on a couple spots, especially on this corner. There's a random spot right here. The rest of it looks pretty good. There's a spot that's getting pretty shy right here. But the rest of it's looking pretty good. There's still little dimples, which I don't really care too much about all the little dimples. But to go from this eggshell all the way to smooth, pretty good. So I'm going to work on getting the rest of that sanded out, and then I got to put another layer on to make sure that I got enough coverage over the bare areas. And just like that, hours worth of work last night have gone away in about 10 minutes. So I've thrown a whole coat over everything. I'm just going to start fresh, get a good coat on. I thought I had enough gel coat over it to really not worry about much. I put 4 layers, 3 without wax and 1 with wax. I totally thought that would be enough to not have any problems with sanding, but turns out it's going to be mostly a hand sanding show. The only area I'm going to kind of be able to use a DA is this top. That one turned out well, but the rest of it, the sides have a slight curve to them. So I burned through the top, burned through the bottom, and never made it to the middle. Learning experience. So now we're going to go ahead and probably do 90% of this by hand, which sucks because I'm not a sanding person and I don't like sanding. I don't enjoy it. But it's a necessary evil at this point. So we're going to go ahead and let this dry now. We'll see you when we see you next. I'm disappointed, but I mentally can't have it not right. So, yeah. Okay, we're going to go ahead, let this dry. We'll come back to it probably later tonight now that it's morning. So we'll catch you guys back when we start sanding again. This time I'll get some footage. That'll be nice. Peace for a minute. What's going on today, everybody? I hope you're having an awesome day. I know I am today because last night, actually it was technically 2 nights ago, did not go very well. So I decided to start sanding on this. I sanded on it, got it working off, and decided I'd put a flashlight on to check some stuff out, and I burned through a lot of my corners, especially that back corner over there. I did a number on it, so I not only got the opportunity to learn what not to do, I'm getting the opportunity to redo it all. So I repainted the whole thing after this catastrophe. So now we're back down to square one, and we painted it all, got it all ready, missed my footage for some reason, and now we're painted up again, got a whole new layer on, we got everything covered up, we got a pretty good thick layer on. It's cured off for a couple days, way longer than it's needed, but now we're gonna go ahead, start sanding this. I've learned with the DA, it's very important to watch your speed and watch what grit paper you're using. I started out with 320, started out with 400, went down to 320, decided that wasn't going fast enough, and decided to just get after it, and that was more than fast enough apparently. So I blew through a couple corners. Now let's go ahead, resand this 400. We're gonna take our time, and it's just gonna be a lot better this time. I got a good feeling. So let's get to sanding on this. I'm gonna start off orbital, nice flat area, give myself some confidence, and then everything else is hand done. All these contours are hard to do, so grab a piece of pipe and some sandpaper, and let's get to sanding this thing, making it nice and smooth. Again. So with the 220 by hand, I get it to about right here, and then I start to get a little bit scared, so now I'll drop my, or raise actually my level of sandpaper, go up to like 500, 600, and get that last little bit out, because I don't want to take too much off. So there's still a couple little dimples in places, but it's not near as bad as what this is. So you can see all the little dimples, and then here it's nice and smooth. There's only a couple little dimples here and there. I still have the edges to hit. I want to hit those last, so I have what I know I need to take out. Well, we made it. It's to darkness. So I've got most of it sanded down. The last piece I have to sand down is this, but I kind of wanted to show the difference on what the waxed sides. This hasn't been sanded at all, and this has. So you can see how shiny this one is, how flat the surface is, and then this one just beads the water. So that's crazy that the wax, it is wax, so it's beating up all the water. So this is my last little bit to sand. I've got everything else sanded down to 600 to where it's good enough for me. It's definitely a 50-footer, but I have a couple little spots that I'm not hyper happy with. I'd rather have the thickness on here than take all the bumps out. Now the top, that'll be a different story, but for right now, this is going to be on a beach, it's going to be on a trailer, it's going to be on this thing, and it's just going to gouge it up. So it'll be fine. I have a couple little bumps right here, but I'm fine with it. It's to a good enough point for me. It looks really, really good from, well, this far away. You can hardly even notice any of the little divots, so I'm okay with it. So I've got powder all over me, but what I did is I sanded it down with 320, 400, depending on where it was with the DA. Got the DA on the flat spots only, and then the rest was all by hand. I was using the pipe. The pipe worked okay, but I found that a nice foam block, this is a 120 block. I got a lot of water in it apparently. A nice foam block will kind of form to everything, and then take whatever sandpaper you want and just wrap it around. cut the big pieces into fourths, and it works out perfect. So this one's 600, and this is as low as I'm gonna go. The top will go 800 and maybe 1,000. I don't know. We'll see. But the bottom, close enough. Way more than I actually need to do. But it's all to 600. It's all nice and smooth enough. For the night, it's good enough. I need to let it dry. I just hosed everything off, so I wet sanded the last 400 and 600 all by hand. Now, I did start with 220 by hand to get the majority of that out, and then I used the 400 to get most of the other divots out, and then the 600 for all my big edges, my tight edges. So this peak and then the edge, I used the 600. I didn't touch it at all. I used the 600 to shape it all. The 600 takes it off slow enough to where it's annoying, but fast enough to where it's not annoying. If that makes sense. You don't burn through it. I actually didn't burn through it this time. Yay me. So next step, I've got this all soaking wet, so buffing it's probably not going to happen tonight. I really wanted to flip this ski over tonight, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I think I got to buff it out in the morning, actually after work tomorrow. That way it's all dry. I don't want any water messing up the buffing compound. It shouldn't, but I'm also tired. Look at how dark it is. I'm ready for bed. Last little bit. This is my last little bit to do, and then it's bedtime for me. So we'll go with that. Well, there we go. I think this is the perfect time to call it a night. Well, there we go. We've got a hole that I'm proud of, and it's not perfect, but I'm proud of it. I did a lot of work on it. It's been 6 hours of sanding on just this bottom to get it to where it's at, and I think we did a pretty good job. It's not perfect. It's not going to be. I don't care if it is or not. I'm going to run it on the beach. I don't want to make it perfect because then I won't ever use it. So it's perfect the way that it's not perfect. But 6 hours of sanding and everything is completely covered in dust. If you can do this outside, I would advise do it outside. Again, what we did, we started out with a 320 to 400, 320, 400, a switch between the two on the DA, the flat spots. This, part of the side, and part of the other side. That's all I did with the DA. The rest was all by hand. I started out with 220 on this and quickly switched over to the foam block. That worked way better than the metal did. It kind of gave a little bit. I wasn't looking for the perfect straight line. If you're looking for a perfect straight line, this is probably your gig. But for me, it's going to be fine. It's going to ride perfectly okay. 220 by hand. Started out with the big rough spots, leaving little dimples here and there. That's fine. And then I jumped up to 400 by hand, and then 600 to finish it all off. So I wanted to find some 800. I don't have any 800. Again, it's just going to be what it's going to be. It's not going to be a perfectly mirror finish. I'm okay with that. Next up is we got to polish. So I don't know where I put it, but I've got polish to put on this thing. Excuse me, compound. I've got to compound this thing and then put some wax on it. So that will be the end of the bottom, and then I can flip this thing over. So tomorrow, the goal is tomorrow we are getting this ski flipped over because I'm starting to get a little indent on my chin pad, and I hope it's not permanent. Fingers crossed on that one. Okay, awesome time to call it. If you like what we're doing here, it helps if you support the channel. All it is, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe. Help me out. I'm trying to grow this channel more and more. Let me know if you like this, what we're doing here. This is a lot of hard manual labor, but in the end, I think I'm going to just love this ski. It's going to be so much better than any stock ski out there. So, again, thank you guys all again for watching. Bottom of my heart, means a lot. I've got hundreds of people that actually watch these videos. There's ghosts in here. Something fell. Again, I've got hundreds of people that watch these videos, so to each and every one of you guys, thank you. It means a lot. I'm gonna get out of here. You enjoy your night. I'm gonna enjoy what's left of mine before work tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone. Peace. A nice foam block. This is a 120 block. I got a lot of water in it apparently. What is 6 hours of sanding later, and I've got a hull that I'm okay with.